Hello and welcome back. So we are on this journey to understand about various type of Elementor elements that are available on the Elementor canvas. Till now we have gone through the basic elements, the general elements, the site elements and the link in bio elements. Now from here onwards we will look at some of the advanced elements that come with Elementor Pro, and these are called the Pro elements. So are you ready? Let's go. So before we dig into the Elementor Pro elements, I want you to understand that we will do this in two parts, because a lot of elements offered by Elementor Pro are also dependent and related to something called Elementor Templates, which is another feature offered by Elementor Pro. So we will cover some of the basic Pro elements. That sounds funny, but some of the elements that do not depend on things like loop grids or loop items or different type of templates. We will do them in the part 1 of Elementor Pro elements, and then we will understand what is templates, what are the different type of Elementor templates, and then after that we will go to the part 2 of Elementor Pro elements, where I will take you through things like loop elements or loop carousels and all the other stuff. So let's get started with the simpler Elementor Pro elements. So the first one over here is called the gallery element. Now we have already seen the gallery element previously, but this one is a little different because it also allows you to adjust the size of the images. Some images can take maybe 2 columns and one image can have just single column, so you can have different image sizes. So let's try and build one over here quickly. We'll just do a high level gallery, we'll not get into too much designing, but let's try and see if we are able to build a nice gallery over here. So say we have selected all of these images in our gallery, so we have a very nice gallery now. There are 4 grids, so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and all the images are arranged in these 4 grids, right? Now for each image, you can see when you click on it, it pops up into a lighthouse. So you can adjust the spacing between the images from here. You can provide link when user click on the image, where should it go? Should it go to a custom URL? So you can have a blog post connected to this particular image, or it can take you directly to the image, full size image. Lightbox, it is just taking as default because we have not set any lightbox settings till now. Aspect ratio, the overlay, all of this can be controlled from here. Styling can be done from here. So you can select what should be the color, border color of the image. If you want to provide a specific border color, you can select this and then decide what should be the border width. So if I say 1 pixel, then all the images will come with a 1 pixel border to them. If we increase the border size, you can see that the border size over here is increasing, right? Then what should happen on hovering, right? Should the border color change? So let's say we change the border color to accent on hovering. So now you can see that the border color is changing as soon as my cursor goes on top of the image. So like this we can do styling from here. We can also add a radius to the border so that on hover the border radius changes to circular, right? So that can also be done for the normal border. Oh sorry, this was the border width. We can change the border radius in the normal image also. So like this we can do a lot of styling from here. We can decide the overlay, what kind of overlay should be there. We can add some, we can do the styling of the content from here. So a lot of things designing can be done from here. So the layout, margin, padding, all of this can be controlled from here. So this is your gallery widget. Now moving on, the form widget. Now this is one of the most important widget that comes with Elementor, because no matter what business you have, you will require a form on your website. You might add a form for, say, collecting details of your visitor. You want a form to maybe make them subscribe to your email list, or if you want them to submit some message to you or contact you. All of that can be done through forms. So this is one of the important elements that every business requires. So for the form element, let me make it full width first. Here we have the form element. Let's add some space above and below it so that it's clearly visible. Yeah. So you can see this is the form element. Now we can add or remove any section from here. So for example, if I don't want user's name, I just want his email ID. So I can remove these two sections and I can just collect email ID from the user. But if I want anything else, I can just say I want their mobile number, right? So I can say mobile and then collect a number from here, and I can make this field a required field, that if you want to submit the form, you have to enter your mobile number also. Now the input size can be controlled from here. You can also, whatever label you want here can be also put here, right? Like this. So this label will appear inside the entry box. Do you want to show a required mark? So if you make this field required, then do you want a required mark also there? So when I switch it on, you can see this small red icon appearing, which shows to the customer that this is a required field and they have to enter it. Then you can do button related adjustments from here. I can change the text from send to submit, right? You can see the text changed on the button. What action should happen after the button is clicked. So here by default, the submission details are collected and an email is sent to me. So this email would be sent to the email ID of the administrator. So these actions are by default. You can add other options, other actions also, that you want it to be collected by your CRM system, or you want a pop-up to come. So you want the user to be redirected to some other page. So all of those actions can be done from here. Now moving on, collect submission. So what all details should be collected in the metadata? So user IP and user agent will be collected. The email would be sent on form submission to my email ID, because I am the administrator. So I can add some other email ID also over here. What should be the subject of that email? What all fields should be captured? So all that is mentioned here. The from email will come from this email ID, and this would be the from name. So you can do the email related settings over here. Then if you want this form to be a step-based form, say you want user to fill up a form which has 4 steps. So you can have a step-based form also from here. Then any additional settings can be done from here. So you can actually create a full-fledged form. You can collect different type of information from the user using this form. Then you can do the styling of the form from here. Adjust the column gap, the row gaps can be adjusted from here. The label spacing can be adjusted. So this is the spacing between the label and the field. Then you can also do the text color inside the field can be this, right? You can change it. You can decide the typography. You can change the background of the field to some other color like this. So it's all flexible, like you have seen throughout with Elementor. It's a very flexible page builder, and you can do a lot of settings very easily, and you can design as per your requirement. So you can do the designing as per your requirement. I don't want this dark background color, so let me just remove it. And you can decide if there should be a border for a field or not, because we are inside the field section, so we are doing field related designing. So see, if I remove the border, now this field has no border, but I want a background color for this field. So maybe I'll go for something like this, right? So this looks better. So you can do a lot of designing from here. Let's add a little border radius to the field. So now you can see there is a slight curve that the field has. So like this, we can even design the buttons from here. What should be the normal color and should the color change on hover? So let's change it on hover. You can see the button color change on hover. So like this, you can do a lot of designing from here itself. Where should be the positioning? I want it to be in the middle or in the left hand side, or should I want it to be stretched? So we can decide that. Let's make it the primary color, and then when I hover it becomes this color. Let's also add a border radius to this. See, this is now a nice button. We can reduce the border radius to say 15. Looks better, right? Then this is basically the message. After you submit the form, a message would appear for the user, right? This is the setting for that message. What should be the typography? What should be, if it is a success message, what should be the color of that message? If it is an error message, you can show it in red color. If it is inline message, you can maybe have it in a dark gray color. Then these are the settings for the steps. So all these settings are possible from here. And then you can adjust the padding and margin from here, right? So a little adjustment and the complete look and feel of the form changed. Now I can even add a background to this form and make it look completely different. So say for example, I want it to be this color, right? Now you cannot recognize that this is the same form that we started with. Let's also maybe add a little border radius to this form and then add a drop shadow. See, now this form is completely different. It's getting a height because of the drop shadow. There is a curvature. All the fields have a curvature to them. Then the button is nicely changing its color. So designing with Elementor is so easy, and you can easily have a well-designed form on your website, collecting information from the user. So moving on, if you want to say if you are having an e-commerce website where you are selling something, or you want the user to register or log in into your website, you can create a well-designed login page also, and for that you can use this particular element. So it's a very simple, it's similar to the form element, and you can easily design it. So you can have a dedicated page where the user can log in and enter password, or sign up if he has lost password. So all this designing can be done from here. Moving on, slides. Now this is another interesting element. We have seen carousels in the past, in the previous videos. Now this is similar to carousels, but now this one has basically, this one is a text-based slide. So you can have some background color, or you can even put an image in the background. You can have content on top of that image. You can see the heading, the text, and then you can also have a button for taking action. So you can use these kind of slides on your website, and they look really nice. So again, the designing is very simpler. The content can be managed from the content tab, the styling, the color of different items like the buttons, the heading, even these arrows, the pagination, these dots over here, the background, all of this can be controlled from this section, and then the spacing can be controlled from the advanced section. Moving on, WordPress menus. We have already seen WordPress menus in the previous video, so I'll not cover it here. Now this is another interesting one, animated headlines. Now you must have seen on a lot of websites, they have, especially in the hero section, they have a text that keeps on changing, or it has some animation to it. So that's what you can do with this. You can either have a highlighted text, or you can have a rotating text that keeps on changing, and what all text you want to rotate can be added to this section. So you can see they have added better, bigger, and faster. So the text over here will keep on changing. And you can also change the animation over here. So right now it's in typing form. You can change it to say a clip form. So see, it'll clip it out and then bring it back with a change text. You can have a flip where the text will flip into the next text now, right? So a lot of interesting elements over here. Again, you can manage the content from here. You can also add an after text from here. A lot of things can be managed. You can manage the speed of this animation from here. You can add a link to some page or some website, external website. Then you can manage the color, the typography of this headline which is animated, and the spacing and padding from here. So again, very useful element. Moving on. Now the price list is again something useful for businesses. Say for example, you have a food business and you are creating a website for your restaurant. You can create these kind of price list or a menu using this list. So again, all the content can be managed from here. You can add more items by just clicking on add more. You can add images, description, title, and then you can style them. You can manage the spacing. So a useful element here also. The next one is a pricing table. You must have seen pricing table of different websites, especially software product websites, where you can see that if subscription A is for $10, the subscription B would be of $15, but it will have these many more features. The subscription C is an annual subscription where you are saving maybe 20% on the annual payment. So those kind of things can be done using this particular element, which is the pricing table element. So let's move this, make this full width so that it moves to the next line. Now you can create, you can just click here on duplicate or here. Let me show you. You see this pencil symbol? If you right click on it, a menu like this opens. Just click duplicate, right click, click duplicate. So now we have 3 such pricing. So we can create 3 different variations of these. So when you edit one of them, in the content section you can enter your title, you can enter the description. This is the description, then the price that you want to keep. Say this is, if this is $39, or let's make it $10, right? Monthly. Then these are the featured lists that you can manage from here and add or remove from here. The footer, this is the footer. The ribbon, this one, right? You want a popular ribbon on this one, but on this one you don't want this ribbon, so you can just go and remove the ribbon from this one. This is the most popular and you want people to go for it. So in this one, let's change the pricing to say $15 per month, right? Then you have the list of features. Maybe you will have a couple of more features in this one. And then the third one, let's make it let's remove the ribbon from this one. Maybe let's make it an annual pricing of say $100 annual, and all the features that are there in this one. So like this, you can basically create your price table for your customers. You can design the background color, the title color, subtitle color, everything can be, the designing can be done from here, and you can easily create a beautiful looking pricing table. So this is not well organized because I'm just showing how to use it at a higher level. But when we actually build a website, we will properly design it and basically create a nice looking pricing table also. So for now, maybe I can just show you, like if I make it custom, 30%, right? Custom, 30%, custom, and 30%. So now you can see this section looks like a proper pricing table on a website. Of course, I have not done any color changes and a lot of designing I have not done, but you can actually do that and make it look pretty good. So yeah, that's the pricing table for you. Moving on, Flipbox. Now Flipbox and call to action have similar utilities. So what this does is, let's make this again maybe a full width. So what this does is, when somebody brings an arrow on top of it, the box will flip. So you can show an icon with a heading and a little bit of text, and when somebody brings an arrow on it, this button will appear on the other side. So it's useful. I am using it on a couple of my websites also. So it's basically a call to action that because of this animation, it will attract users to bring the mouse on top of it. So you can have maybe a couple of options side by side, and people can, when people bring their mouse on top of it, it will change, it will flip, and you can allow them to click on that button and go to some specific area in your website or to a different page or subscribe to something, things like that. You can decide the motion effect that you want. So a lot of options here that you can do. So basic one, you can change the icon, and change the heading, text, what should be the heading, text on the back side, and what should be the link on this button, then the styling of the front side, then the back side. So all of this is manageable, and then the spacing from advanced tab. So just like any other element on Elementor. The next one was the call to action one. Now this tab, similar to the flip box, is basically required for call to action, for adding call to action on your website. But unlike Flipbox, where the button is hidden on the back side, here you can see the button, and there is a nice image place to put an image over here, and the image has some animation, so it will grow, so it will look nice on a website. So you can maybe choose a image from here. When the user brings mouse on top of it, it will grow. So you can have multiple such call to action on your page. You can maybe, let's make it custom 45, right? And let's double it, duplicate it. Now we have, see, 2 call to actions on our page, and I can change the image of this one to say this one, right? See how nice it will look on your website. You can have 3 such options on your website. So let's reduce the size of this one to say 30%. Same here. Now we can have these 3 different call to action boxes. This can have a different image. Let's add maybe this one. Okay. You see how nice it's looking. So you can have 3 different options with buttons and different images, nicely animated. So yeah, that's the use case of this particular type of element. Again, you can decide the layout, the button and everything from here. The content can be managed from here. You can choose the image, what should be the placement of the image can be decided from here, right? Should it be a classic one? Should it be a cover? So cover will have image on the background. You can decide the content, the text, the ribbon. So you can do the styling from the style tab, styling of the box. If you want any padding inside the box, you can adjust the height of the box from here, right? If you say add more padding, padding is basically coming over here. It's coming over here in this area. So this is the box. I will remove all the padding because I don't need it. You can adjust the image height, the content styling, the button styling, the hover effect. All of this is manageable from here, and then the spacing from the advanced tab. So that was your call to action element. Now moving on, media carousel, just like the carousel element, basically lets you add media to these slides. So you can have image, or you can even have videos in the carousel. Again, all the other settings are similar. You add these images or videos from the content tab. You can style it, and you can add spacing. So very similar to any other element. Moving on, the testimonials carousel. So you can have multiple testimonials from multiple clients, and you can create a carousel using all of them. So similar to other carousel elements, you can do the content from the content tab, the styling from the styling tab, and then spacing and all background, if you want to add some kind of a shadow and all, can be done from the border section. So like this, you can design your testimonials left by your customers and add them to the website. Now reviews, again, if you are having products, you can add a review section where people can review your products, and you can create a review carousel using this element. Moving on. Now table of content we have already seen in the previous video, where I had shown you a table of content added to a blog on one of my websites. So we will not cover this here. Now this share button, you can add to a particular page or a blog, and using this people can share that particular page or blog over internet. You see, so here you can add the social channels that you have and select it from here, and say I want, maybe I have on Pinterest, right? And then you can basically manage rest of the stuff from here. The shape can be rounded, so you see this rounded corners, and then I can style these buttons from here, the caps and colors. Right now it's official. If I want a custom color, I can choose that. So let's keep it official, and that's it. So once you add these buttons to your page, you can select, if you're adding it to a page, then select current page. If you want to add it to a post, you can just select custom, and then from here you can select the post URL, right? So like this, you can basically decide where to put these share button and allow your customers to share your pages and your post on their social media channels. Moving on. Now the backquote basically lets you add quotes to your website. A simple, straightforward element. Now these elements, Facebook button, Facebook comments, Facebook embed, and Facebook page, basically these are all related to Facebook. So this adds a like button on your page where you can like and share a particular post on your website. Then Facebook comment element lets you add comments from Facebook. The Facebook embed button lets you add embed your Facebook post over here on your website. So whenever you're posting a new post on Facebook, it will also be visible on your website. You can also embed your entire Facebook page on your website using this particular element called Facebook page. So like this, these are all Facebook related elements that you can add to your website. Moving on. Template and Lottie, we have not created any template till now, so let's not look at it. Moving on. Lottie is basically some animations that you can add to your website. So that is what Lottie is used for. Now code highlight, you must have seen on a lot of website a code, when say for example if it is a coding tutorial website, you can see a code which is highlighted, and then you can copy that code from the website. So that functionality is done by this particular element. So let me make it full width. So if I want to provide a code on my website, I can just write it in this element, and then any user who comes here, they will see this code and they can directly copy this code from my website. So this is basically possible using this particular element. So moving on. Video playlist allows you to add a playlist of your videos. So you can just add a title to the video and then provide a link over here, and the entire playlist will be visible like this, and a player would be added to the right hand side. You can style this, you can add spacing. So you can create a nice video playlist on your website using this particular element. Okay, PayPal button basically allows you to put a button on your website using which a customer can pay you using their PayPal account. So if you have a PayPal account, you can use this option to collect payments from your website. Now, the first thing that you need to do is you have to enter your email ID with which you are registered on PayPal. So once you do that, you can do a little bit of settings over here and say this is a $10 button. So when user clicks on it, he will be taken to the PayPal checkout, and from where he can pay you using PayPal. So a useful button for e-commerce or any other kind of website which collects payments from the user. So that's the PayPal button. Similar to PayPal button, there is this Stripe button. So if you have a Stripe account, you can collect payments using Stripe. So that's the purpose of this button. Now the progress tracker is something that we saw in the previous video, where you can add this progress tracker on your blog post or on your page, and people can see how much of that blog post or page have they completed. So that's that. We also saw the mega menu in the previous video. We've also seen carousel. Okay, this one is a little different. This, instead of being the usual carousel where you have by default images or a slide or a video, this allows you to decide whatever type of content you want to place in your carousel. So it will just give you these empty frames. Now inside these frames you can create your own carousel. So you select a container, and then inside that container you can decide what should come. So for example, on this carousel I just want a heading, but on this second carousel I want a heading with maybe some text. Let me change the orientation of this. Okay, maybe we can make it vertical like this. Now in the third carousel, I just want maybe an image. Oh sorry, I have to add a container before that. And I just add an image inside this. So like this, you can have different type of content in different carousel fields. So this is a very flexible type of carousel, and you can use it as per your requirement on your website. Now next is taxonomy filter. Now again, this is the complex thing. We will do this when we actually create some blog post and create a filter using taxonomies like categories or tags on your website. You can also use this search element, but this is again useful when you have multiple content like blog post on your website, and then you let your customer use search to search for a specific content by typing something on your website. So we will cover these two elements in addition to other elements like loop grid, loop carousel, of canvas and post, and few others in the part 2 of Elementor Pro Elements Overview. So that was the part 1 of Elementor Pro Elements Overview. Please look at the link in the description to get screenshots of each one of these elements about whatever I've covered in this video, and go through them, try to play with these elements on a dummy website page on your own, so that you get a little familiar with these elements. And then in the upcoming videos, we will dig deeper into the elements and try to use them more practically in building a real website for your business. In the next video, let's start looking at something called Elementor Templates, and then let's create some templates that are useful for any website. After that, we will add some blog posts to the website, some dummy blog posts, and then we will look at these part 2 of Elementor Pro Elements, so that we have a complete understanding of these features that are offered by Elementor. After that, we will move on and start building a proper website from scratch. So till then, you have a good time, keep learning. I'll see you in the next one. Have a nice day.